here's the mistake that almost everybody that takes a job or a position at Thermo Fisher Scientific in Greenville, North Carolina make.
Somebody hits them a list of neighborhoods or they looked online and they pick a circle and they shop within the circle. And it feels efficient to do this. And sometimes it can be, but oftentimes it is not. Now, looking at the outer rings of that campus, which is about 20 minutes apart. So and that can be one of the most expensive housing in the county. And another is completely the least expensive. Same drive, same parking lot, opposite ends of the market entirely. So it's not really how close it is to the neighborhood or how much that drive alone is. There is something else mattering to people when they're picking to buy a house.
Exactly. And once you know what it is, basically that list of the drive times become genuinely useful instead of basically misleading you to something that you don't want. And that's what we wanted to walk you through today in Living in Greenville TV.
Now, who is this for? Say you've just gotten a job offer and you want to buy a house and you have never come to the Greenville,
North Carolina. Job offer and where?
In the Greenville, North Carolina. I was just getting here. Listen. So when you're taking their job in the Thermo Fisher and then you're on a laptop in another state and you are 4 to 6 weeks out from having to make this move. And it's really not whether you're going to be an engineer, you're going to do a science, you're going to do quality, regulation, supply chain, operations. It doesn't matter. It really doesn't really matter what your budget is either. The problem is the same for everybody in this. The list of houses of what you are, where you can buy is there, but nothing is telling you how to tell them apart. So it can be worthless.
Exactly. Basically, what is actually pricing of these homes that we were talking about when you were taking this job in Greenville, North Carolina? What's the price around that campus is not distance. We just mentioned that. It's what got built there and when. And this circle that we were talking about in the beginning of video, the circle closes are basically established in the different neighborhood of the Greenville, North Carolina.
So closer to Thermo Fisher, you have homes that were decades old, finished a really, really long time ago. The trees are well matured, they're beautiful. But when you push out further, you're going to get to the newer homes, the subdivisions, where things are still building, and some are still selling in their last phase, or maybe the new phase is coming soon. And so there are two completely different products on different ends of the structure, and really it just depends on what you're looking for when we're talking about it. So it's not just drive time, because we are talking between established and new construction.
Exactly.
And there's more.
That is the whole trick. Basically, when you sort by the commute, you end up by comparing a house that has been standing for 30 years against a house that didn't even exist last spring, for example, in 2025 or 2026, and calling that a fair comparison, which is not a fair comparison.
So the real decision isn't just a circle of how far you want to drive or what is around it. Really, it makes sure that it gets sorted out by itself. And we're not pushing you one way to the other. We can't do that, and we wouldn't want to do that, because different deals are different great for everybody. So you can choose what kind of places you want to live. But really understanding we all live in our little bubbles, and we have to understand what is close to this bubble for us to really talk about that you might be looking for. And that's really the lot. Is it the lot that needs to be bigger? Does it have to be pre-plotted a long time ago? What did it need to be already established, because you don't really want to deal with new construction and garbage flying in the area because of the wind, because they're still building. So the house has to be what it is that you want it to be. And really having someone who understands you and what you are across the table is really going to make sure there.
Exactly. Basically, an owner has a number, a reason to move, and a timeline, and all these three of those are things that you can work basically with. And a builder has a list price, a price list that doesn't care, and when you are basically relocating, because they are set for any kind of home buyers in that area.
And the biggest risk people take on older and new construction homes is really the mechanical items inside the house itself. Roof, heating, air, windows, HVAC, like plumbing, electricity. These are really the things I care about when we're looking at homes, because even if that house is vintage and beautiful and super cute as a button, if those have bad windows, that's going to mean that you're going to spend countless dollars on electricity, and that's just one half of it. So it's really just understanding price, negotiating on your behalf, and so there's nothing that is surprising for you at all, because the last thing you want to do is walk into a house and you skipped the inspections, and now you're seeing all the problems that Cute as a Button house had because it has a bad roof, and now all of your electricity and your plumbing is going right out that bad roof.
Exactly. And what basically this new construction circle that we were talking about gives you. Now, the outer rings where most of the new construction seats, that's what we were talking about. Brand new everything, a builder warranty behind of them, nothing budget for one day, just day one that you need to fix something when you turn into the thing, to the house. And starting a demanding new job is basically this time consuming, and you don't want it to put your energy somewhere else.
And now those houses might be the exact same price, but let's talk about it. I talked bad about existing, but when you live in a new construction home, you start seeing where the builder cut all their they have a budget, and you can see where they cut the budget, and you can see all of them have different situations. Some of them might be a roof issue. For us, it was birds flying into our dryer vent when we first moved in because they didn't put vents on there. So this is just things. New construction has problems too, but really understanding that though two houses can be identical in numbers, have very similar problems that you're going to be walking in for, and inspections are really important to help us understand that. And if you are across the street in another state, you cannot see all of the issues that might be existing, so you really do need hands on deck.
Exactly. Therefore, here's the honest trade-off that basically nobody volunteers to tell you. If the builders is still building around you, around your neighborhood, they control the pricing on every phase that comes after yours. And that can hold your own value flat until the neighborhood finish. This could be a fact, really. And what else? And
there is reasons to avoid new construction if you must. Though I love new construction, we bought ourselves, but there can be questions. How many are lots left? What do the last lots sell for? And I think you cannot get good answers for that. You have to wonder about the resale value of what you're having. So you have to make sure that you are making sure you're getting protected at all levels. So let's just start talking about, you're in another state. I've helped someone in Japan. So you're in Japan. The base price is just a base price. Having someone to help you out with the lock premiums, the upgrades, the incentives that is there that doesn't work for the builder but works for you is going to be in your favor. And neither one of these are numbers on the screen. And basically how that house will turn out if you pick the cheaper version or the expensive one does matter. And having someone who can show you versions of it who's going to let you make the final decision and be no pressure, and it's really there because sometimes those sales meetings can have a lot of pressure. So make sure the automated value of records are there as well. So you have someone who can understand the number. And now if you're looking at an existing home and that kitchen was not done in 10 years, and you cannot see if that roof is original or not until you sometimes go under contract.
Exactly. Basically, for example, two homes on the same street with the same square footage will get the similar estimate that basically, and they are not similar homes. That is an example of that you might be facing when you're looking for a home. And the one that costs relocating buyers the most basically is a real share of the new construction and coming soon inventory around the corridor that never reaches the national apps that you're seeing on your phone at all, or reaches them, or if it comes late, which might not actually satisfy the timeline that you're looking for.
And when somebody tells us that they need to be in a certain area, and careers move, and sites organize, and builders move all the time, so you really do need to know, if you are thinking you're only going to be there for a certain amount of time, which circle is going to hold value to make sure that you're making sure you're getting something that's not going to lose you money when it's time to move on. So There are certain parts in the areas that are going to hold its value more than that. And new construction is always that gamble as well. It's not necessarily a knock, but you have to understand that when people are buying there because it's what they wanted for a house, but it might not hold value in 5 years. Exactly like that existing community that people have loved for 50 years. So you have to understand, you have to make sure, is that ring or that circle that you're choosing going to match what kind of lifestyle that you're looking for, and make sure that you don't have that competition and everything works for you based on what your desires and your wants.
Exactly. Therefore, now if basically drive the route at your own hour. This is part of it that we wanted to mention. Always. The last piece, and is the practical one that we want to mention, is the operation on the campus run multiple shifts. And basically, your day already carries 30 to 45 minutes of growing and gowning and degowning.
Mm-hmm.
I said crowning. And on the top of the hours that you have scheduled. So the commute matters more basically in that scenario than it would if you have a desk job. And that is matters for the different people because you come in a different position. Maybe your position is a hybrid. You need to work a couple of days at home and a couple of days you need to be at the job center. And this is all comes together when you wanted to think about it.
And if you have a standard shift, 20 minutes each day during rush hour, you need to know how fast that actually is going to go, because 20 minutes in rush hour is very different than 20 minutes with no hours. And if you're on a rotating schedule where the roads are completely nothing and then it's going to be completely full in one way and nothing on the other, you need to know how that's all going to play out in your life on a day-to-day. So once you've actually committed to kind of an area that you're thinking about, making sure you understand the traffic patterns really does matter because you will be in that traffic. And a commute on a Google map is not going to promise you all of that. So once you kind of know your schedule, checking, Google Maps and looking at your schedule at least tells you how much time that's going to take. So at least you can see that. And here's why that means. You stop surfing just in general, and you're finding really that basic answer. Do you want new or do you want established? And once you have that, when everything becomes a little bit more easy because they can be moved in when you're looking for it. You shop when you're looking for it. And if you're looking for that home that has a lot of warranties and you don't have any big projects planned, maybe those new constructions are really appealing to you. I mean, it was appealing to us when you had the hospital job. But either way, you have to know your drive and your shift before anything else.
Exactly. Therefore, we are Alan Victoria Pinder, real estate agent, icon agent with eXp Realty, with Living in Greenville TV. We are here for you. Please, if you are relocating to the area, we'd love to connect with you. We'll go to the description below, take a calendar link, and we wanted to have a conversation with you to help you to have a smooth moving to the area, to Greenville and Pitt County. And don't forget to watch all of our playlists here and subscribe in our channel. Write us a comment. We love to help you and see you next time.